Have you ever thought about why wars seem to be such a constant in human history? In today's video, we're going to dive into an insightful perspective on war through the teachings of the Buddha. Over the last few months, we've seen many unsettling events unfold around the world. We've witnessed people suffering, nations being torn apart, and countless lives lost. These situations often lead to questions about right and wrong. But today, we're not going to focus on assigning blame or determining who is at fault. Instead, we're going to explore what the Buddha taught about war and conflict, and why his wisdom might help us find a path to genuine peace. The Buddha's insight on war. The Buddha's teachings on war offer a profound and thought-provoking perspective that challenges our conventional understanding of conflict. When the Buddha spoke about war, he was not merely addressing the physical battles fought between nations, but also the internal struggles that drive human beings to conflict. His insights are designed to help us understand the deeper consequences of war and how it affects both the individual and the collective psyche. The Buddha famously said, "Victory gives rise to hate, and the defeated dwells in pain. Once you give up both victory and defeat, you will be happy forever." At first glance, this statement might seem like a simple observation. However, it encapsulates a deep and multifaceted understanding of the nature of conflict and its impact on our lives. To fully grasp this teaching, we need to explore what it means to seek victory and experience defeat. In any conflict, whether it's a personal disagreement or a large-scale war, the desire for victory often drives people to pursue goals and strategies that can have long-lasting consequences. Victory is typically celebrated, but it is not without its complications. The victor may experience a sense of triumph, but this triumph often comes at a cost. The victorious side might face backlash and resentment from the defeated. This resentment can manifest as hatred, which can linger long after the initial conflict has ended. Hatred is a powerful and destructive emotion that can continue to fuel further conflicts, creating a vicious cycle of animosity and strife. On the other hand, the defeated side is left with pain and suffering. The feelings of loss, humiliation, and defeat can be deeply painful and can persist long after the conflict has ended. This pain is not just an emotional reaction, but can also have significant psychological and social impacts. The defeated may harbor grudges and negative feelings, which can affect their future interactions and contribute to ongoing tensions. The Buddha's teaching encourages us to look beyond the superficial outcomes of victory and defeat and consider their deeper implications. He suggests that the pursuit of victory over others is inherently flawed because it breeds hatred and resentment. Similarly, experiencing defeat leads to pain and suffering. Both of these outcomes contribute to a cycle of negativity that hinders true peace and happiness. By advising us to give up both victory and defeat, the Buddha is encouraging a radical shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on external achievements and setbacks, he advocates for an inward focus. This inward focus involves examining our own motivations, desires, and emotional responses. It means looking beyond the immediate outcomes of conflict and addressing the root causes of our inner turmoil. The Buddha's insight into war also highlights the futility of trying to resolve conflict through external means alone. Historical and contemporary conflicts have shown us that victories achieved through violence or aggression rarely lead to lasting peace. Instead, they often sow the seeds of future conflicts and perpetuate cycles of suffering. The Buddha's teaching suggests that true resolution comes from within, by overcoming our own negative emotions and ego-driven desires. To truly understand and apply the Buddha's teachings on war, we need to recognize that the conflict we experience externally is often a reflection of our internal state. When we are at peace with ourselves and have conquered our own ego and negative tendencies, we are less likely to be drawn into conflicts and confrontations with others. This inner peace creates a foundation for more harmonious and understanding relationships, both with ourselves and with those around us. In essence, the Buddha is inviting us to rethink our approach to conflict. Instead of seeking victory over others or striving to avoid defeat, we should focus on achieving inner harmony and personal growth. By doing so, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute to a more peaceful and compassionate world. The Buddha's insight on war serves as a reminder that the path to true happiness and resolution lies within ourselves. And it is through inner transformation that we can ultimately achieve lasting peace. The cycle of victory and defeat. The cycle of victory and defeat is a powerful concept in understanding the dynamics of conflict and its long-term effects. When we examine the nature of these two outcomes, victory and defeat, we see that they are not just isolated events, but are deeply interconnected, each influencing the other in a continuous loop. Understanding victory. Victory is often seen as the ultimate goal in any conflict or competition. It is celebrated as a triumph, a moment of achievement that is supposed to bring satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. However, the reality of victory is far more complex. While winning can provide a temporary boost to one's self-esteem and social status, it often comes with unintended consequences. When a person or group achieves victory, it is common for the winners to experience a sense of superiority or dominance. This feeling can lead to the imposition of terms or conditions on the defeated that may be harsh or unjust. For instance, in historical conflicts, victorious nations have often imposed reparations, territorial changes, or political control on the defeated. These actions can foster a deep sense of resentment and hostility from those who have been subjected to them. Moreover, victory can also lead to a dangerous mindset where the victors begin to justify their actions and view the defeated as inferior or deserving of their fate. This mindset can perpetuate a cycle of hatred and division, as the winners may become increasingly entrenched in their views and actions. The sense of superiority gained from victory can make it harder to empathize with the suffering of others, leading to further alienation and conflict. Experiencing defeat. On the flip side, defeat brings with it a different set of challenges and emotions. The defeated often face pain, humiliation, and a profound sense of loss. The psychological impact of defeat can be severe, leaving individuals or groups grappling with feelings of inadequacy and anger. This emotional turmoil is not just a temporary reaction, but can have lasting effects on one's mental and emotional well-being. Defeat can lead to a range of negative outcomes, including a desire for revenge or retribution. The defeated may harbor grudges and seek to rectify their loss by planning or participating in future conflicts. This cycle of revenge can perpetuate ongoing hostility and create a situation where the defeated are constantly striving to regain their lost status or overcome their perceived injustice. Additionally, the experience of defeat can lead to a lack of trust and cooperation between groups. When individuals or nations are subjected to loss or subjugation, they may become distrustful of the victors and resistant to any form of reconciliation. This resistance can make it difficult to achieve lasting peace and understanding, as the scars of defeat remain fresh and unresolved. The interconnection of victory and defeat. The interconnection between victory and defeat is crucial to understanding the cycle of conflict. The effects of one outcome often feed into the other, creating a loop of ongoing strife. Victory leads to resentment and hatred from the defeated, which can eventually lead to new conflicts and struggles. Similarly, the pain and desire for revenge experienced by the defeated can drive them to seek opportunities for a comeback, perpetuating the cycle of conflict. This cycle is not limited to large-scale wars, but can also be observed in smaller personal conflicts. In everyday life, whether it's a dispute between friends or a competition at work, the dynamics of victory and defeat play out in similar ways. The temporary satisfaction of winning can lead to strained relationships and lingering animosity, while the experience of losing can result in emotional distress and a desire for retribution. Breaking the cycle. The Buddha's teaching invites us to break this cycle by shifting our focus away from the pursuit of victory and the avoidance of defeat. Instead of being driven by the desire to win or the fear of losing, we are encouraged to focus on our own inner growth and self-awareness. By addressing our own ego and negative emotions, we can create a more stable and peaceful internal state that is less influenced by external outcomes. In practical terms, breaking the cycle of victory and defeat involves recognizing and addressing our own motivations and reactions. It means understanding that our sense of self-worth and happiness should not be dependent on external successes or failures. By cultivating inner peace and empathy, we can approach conflicts with a mindset of understanding and reconciliation rather than competition and hostility. In summary, the cycle of victory and defeat is a powerful force that influences human behavior and relationships. Understanding this cycle helps us recognize the deeper consequences of conflict and the ways in which it perpetuates itself. By focusing on our own personal growth and embracing the Buddha's teachings, we can work towards breaking this cycle and fostering a more harmonious and peaceful existence. Turning inward, conquering the ego. In the teachings of the Buddha, the concept of conquering the ego is central to achieving true peace and resolving conflicts. The ego, or our sense of self, plays a pivotal role in how we perceive and engage with the world. By understanding and addressing our ego, we can shift our approach to conflicts and enhance our overall well-being. Understanding the ego. The ego is often described as the part of us that seeks validation, recognition, and dominance. It is closely tied to our sense of identity and self-worth. When we are driven by our ego, our actions and reactions are motivated by a desire to prove ourselves, achieve success, and gain superiority over others. This ego-driven mindset can lead to a range of behaviors and attitudes that contribute to conflict and dissatisfaction. For instance, when we engage in a conflict, whether it's a personal argument or a larger-scale dispute, our ego often pushes us to win the argument or come out on top. This desire for victory is rooted in our ego's need to assert itself and affirm its importance. As a result, conflicts can become heated and entrenched as each side becomes more focused on defeating the other rather than finding a resolution. The impact of ego-driven behavior. Ego-driven behavior can have significant consequences for our relationships and our internal state. When our actions are motivated by the ego, we are more likely to engage in behaviors that are competitive, aggressive, and self-serving. This can lead to misunderstandings, resentment, and ongoing disputes. In personal relationships, ego-driven behavior can create barriers to effective communication and empathy, making it difficult to resolve conflicts and build meaningful connections. Moreover, the ego's influence extends beyond personal interactions. In larger societal and global conflicts, ego-driven motivations can fuel divisive ideologies and power struggles. Nations, organizations, and individuals may become entrenched in their positions, driven by a desire for dominance and recognition. This can perpetuate cycles of conflict and hinder efforts towards reconciliation and cooperation. The Buddha's perspective on conquering the ego. The Buddha's teachings offer a transformative approach to addressing the ego and its impact on our lives. He emphasized that true peace and happiness come from within, and conquering the ego is a crucial step in this process. By focusing on our internal state and letting go of ego-driven desires, we can achieve a deeper sense of fulfillment and reduce the likelihood of conflict. One of the key aspects of conquering the ego is developing self-awareness. This involves recognizing and understanding our own motivations, desires, and emotional reactions. When we become aware of how our ego influences our behavior, we can start to make more conscious choices that align with our values and goals. This self-awareness allows us to approach conflicts with a mindset of empathy and understanding, rather than aggression and defensiveness. Practices for conquering the ego. Several practices can help us in the journey of conquering the ego and fostering inner peace. 1. Self-reflection. Regular self-reflection helps us examine our thoughts, actions, and motivations. By understanding why we react in certain ways and how our ego influences our behavior, we can make more intentional choices and reduce the impact of ego-driven impulses. 2. Mindfulness. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation, encourage us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This awareness can help us identify when our ego is driving our actions and allow us to respond more calmly and thoughtfully. 3. Humility. Embracing humility involves recognizing that we do not have all the answers and that we are part of a larger whole. Humility helps us to let go of the need for dominance and control, fostering a more balanced and cooperative approach to interactions. 4. Compassion. Cultivating compassion towards ourselves and others helps to counteract ego-driven behaviors. By focusing on the well-being of others and understanding their perspectives, we can create more harmonious and supportive relationships. 5. Forgiveness. Practicing forgiveness, both towards ourselves and others, allows us to release the burdens of resentment and anger. Forgiveness helps to break down the barriers created by the ego and promotes healing and reconciliation. The benefits of conquering the ego. Conquering the ego brings numerous benefits to our personal and interpersonal lives. By reducing the influence of ego-driven desires and reactions, we can experience greater inner peace and emotional stability. Our relationships become more meaningful and fulfilling as we approach interactions with empathy and understanding rather than competition and conflict. Furthermore, by letting go of ego-driven motivations, we contribute to a more harmonious and cooperative environment. In personal and professional settings, this can lead to more effective collaboration, problem-solving, and mutual respect. On a larger scale, reducing the influence of ego can help to address and resolve societal and global conflicts, paving the way for greater peace and unity. Applying Buddha's teachings to daily conflicts. Applying the Buddha's teachings to daily conflicts offers a transformative approach to handling disagreements, disputes, and interpersonal challenges. Buddha's wisdom extends beyond grand philosophical ideas. It provides practical guidance for managing conflicts in our everyday lives. By integrating these teachings into our daily interactions, we can foster a more harmonious and understanding environment, both within ourselves and with others. Understanding everyday conflicts. Conflicts are an inevitable part of human interactions. They arise in various contexts, from personal relationships and family dynamics to workplace disputes and community disagreements. While conflicts are natural, how we handle them can significantly impact the outcomes and our overall well-being. Traditional responses to conflicts often involve competition, defensiveness, or aggression, which can escalate tensions and lead to unresolved issues. The Buddha's teachings offer a different perspective. They encourage us to approach conflicts with a mindset of compassion, self-awareness, and inner peace. By shifting our focus from winning or losing to understanding and resolution, we can create more constructive and positive outcomes. Applying Buddha's teachings. 1. Cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness. One of the fundamental principles of Buddhism is mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. In the context of conflicts, mindfulness helps us to observe our reactions without getting caught up in them. When faced with a disagreement, take a moment to pause and reflect before responding. Notice your initial emotional reactions, such as anger or frustration, and understand their roots. This self-awareness allows you to respond more thoughtfully and prevents knee-jerk reactions that can escalate the situation. For example, if you find yourself arguing with a friend, mindfulness helps you recognize when you are reacting out of ego or defensiveness. By acknowledging these reactions, you can choose a more measured and empathetic response, which can de-escalate the argument and foster a more constructive dialogue. 2. Practice compassion and empathy. Compassion is at the heart of the Buddha's teachings. It involves recognizing and understanding the suffering of others and responding with kindness and support. In conflicts, practicing compassion means seeing the situation from the other person's perspective and acknowledging their feelings and needs. When engaged in a disagreement, try to listen actively and empathetically to the other person's point of view. Validate their feelings and concerns, even if you don't agree with their position. This approach can help build mutual respect and trust, creating a more positive and collaborative atmosphere for resolving the conflict. For instance, if a colleague at work is upset about a project outcome, approach the situation with empathy. Instead of immediately defending your actions, listen to their concerns and express understanding. This compassionate approach can help to address the root of the issue and find a solution that satisfies both parties. 3. Let go of the need to win. The desire to win a conflict often stems from ego and pride. This need for victory can lead to a combative mindset, where the focus shifts from resolving the issue to defeating the other party. The Buddha's teachings advise us to let go of this need for victory and instead focus on finding common ground and mutual understanding. In practical terms, this means approaching conflicts with a mindset of collaboration rather than competition. Shift your focus from proving yourself right to working together to address the issue at hand. By prioritizing resolution over winning, you can foster a more cooperative and amicable resolution. For example, during a family argument about holiday plans, instead of insisting on your preferred option, engage in a collaborative discussion. Explore potential compromises and consider the needs and preferences of all family members. This approach helps to find a solution that everyone can agree on, rather than creating a winner and a loser. 4. Embrace forgiveness and letting go. Forgiveness is a key element in Buddhist practice and is essential for resolving conflicts and maintaining inner peace. Holding on to grudges and resentments only perpetuates negative feelings and can lead to ongoing discord. The Buddha teaches us to let go of these negative emotions and practice forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior or ignoring the issue. Instead, it involves releasing the emotional hold that the conflict has on you and choosing to move forward with a sense of peace. Forgiveness benefits not only the person being forgiven, but also the one offering forgiveness, as it allows for personal healing and emotional freedom. For instance, if someone has wronged you in a significant way, practicing forgiveness can help you let go of the bitterness and anger associated with the incident. By releasing these negative emotions, you free yourself from their impact and open the door to healing and resolution. 5. Seek constructive solutions. The ultimate goal of applying Buddha's teachings to conflicts is to find constructive solutions that address the underlying issues and benefit all parties involved. This involves focusing on problem solving rather than assigning blame or dwelling on past grievances. Approach conflicts with a mindset of collaboration and creativity. Explore various options for resolution and involve all parties in the process. By working together to find mutually acceptable solutions, you can resolve conflicts more effectively and build stronger relationships. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a profound and transformative practice that holds the power to heal wounds, mend relationships, and bring about personal and collective peace. In the teachings of the Buddha, forgiveness is not merely a virtue, but a crucial aspect of spiritual and emotional well-being. Understanding and applying the power of forgiveness can significantly impact our lives, both in how we interact with others and how we relate to ourselves. Understanding forgiveness. Forgiveness involves letting go of resentment, anger, and the desire for retribution towards someone who has wronged us. It is often misunderstood as condoning or excusing harmful behavior. But in reality, forgiveness is about freeing ourselves from the negative emotions and burdens associated with the wrongdoing. It is an act of releasing the hold that past hurts have on our present and future. Forgiveness is not about forgetting the hurt or pretending it didn't happen. Instead, it is about acknowledging the pain, understanding its impact, and choosing to move beyond it. It allows us to let go of the emotional weight that holds us back and enables us to live with greater peace and clarity. The benefits of forgiveness. 1. Emotional healing. One of the most immediate benefits of forgiveness is emotional healing. Holding on to anger, resentment, or grudges can create a heavy burden that affects our mental and emotional health. These negative emotions can lead to stress, anxiety, and depression, impacting our overall well-being. By forgiving, we release these toxic feelings and create space for emotional healing and restoration. For instance, if someone has betrayed your trust, holding on to anger and bitterness can lead to ongoing distress. Through forgiveness, you can alleviate the emotional pain associated with the betrayal, allowing yourself to heal and move forward with a lighter heart. 2. Improved relationships. Forgiveness has the power to mend and strengthen relationships. When we hold on to grudges, it can create distance and tension between us and the person who wronged us. This can lead to a breakdown in communication and a deterioration of the relationship. Forgiveness allows us to address and resolve conflicts, rebuild trust, and foster a more harmonious and supportive connection. For example, if a close friend has let you down, choosing to forgive them can help repair the friendship. By addressing the issue openly and letting go of resentment, you create an opportunity for understanding and reconciliation, which can strengthen the bond between you. 3. Personal growth and empowerment. Forgiveness is also a powerful tool for personal growth and empowerment. It requires us to confront and work through our own emotions and responses, leading to greater self-awareness and emotional resilience. By choosing to forgive, we take control of our emotional state and decide not to let past hurts dictate our future actions. For instance, if you have been hurt by someone's words or actions, forgiving them empowers you to move past the hurt and reclaim your sense of self. It allows you to grow beyond the pain and become a more emotionally resilient and compassionate individual. 4. Reduction of stress and anxiety. Chronic anger and resentment can lead to elevated stress levels and physical health issues. When we hold on to negative emotions, it can have a detrimental impact on our overall health. Forgiveness helps to reduce stress and anxiety by releasing the emotional grip of past hurts and promoting a sense of inner peace. For example, if you are constantly preoccupied with a past conflict, it can cause ongoing stress and anxiety. Forgiving the person involved allows you to let go of these negative feelings, leading to a more relaxed and balanced state of mind. 5. Enhanced empathy and compassion. Forgiveness fosters empathy and compassion by encouraging us to see things from another person's perspective. It involves recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and that we are all fallible. This understanding can deepen our empathy and compassion for others, leading to more meaningful and supportive relationships. For instance, if someone has wronged you, practicing forgiveness helps you understand their motivations and challenges. This perspective can increase your empathy for their situation and lead to a more compassionate and forgiving approach. The Buddha's teachings on forgiveness. The Buddha's teachings on forgiveness emphasize its importance for achieving inner peace and spiritual growth. He taught that holding on to anger and hatred only perpetuates suffering and conflict. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is a path to liberation from these negative emotions. In the Buddha's view, forgiveness is not only about letting go of anger towards others, but also about releasing self-criticism and guilt. By practicing forgiveness, we cultivate a sense of compassion and understanding towards ourselves and others, leading to a more harmonious and fulfilling life. The Buddha's teachings also highlight that forgiveness is a continuous practice. It is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of letting go of negative emotions and fostering a mindset of compassion and understanding. By making forgiveness a regular part of our lives, we build emotional resilience and create a more peaceful and harmonious environment. Practical steps to forgiveness. 1. Acknowledge the pain. Recognize and accept the hurt and pain caused by the wrongdoing. Allow yourself to feel and process these emotions before moving towards forgiveness. 2. Reflect on the impact. Consider how holding on to anger or resentment affects your well-being and relationships. Reflect on the benefits of letting go and moving forward. 3. Choose to forgive. Make a conscious decision to forgive. Understand that forgiveness is for your own peace and healing, rather than condoning or excusing the behavior. 4. Communicate and resolve. If possible, address the issue with the person involved. Open communication can help clarify misunderstandings and facilitate resolution. 5. Practice self-compassion. Extend compassion to yourself as you work through the process of forgiveness. Recognize that forgiveness is a journey and that it's okay to take it one step at a time. 6. Let go and move forward. Release the emotional hold of past hurts and focus on moving forward with a sense of peace and resolution. Conclusion. In summary, Buddha's teachings on war challenge us to rethink our approach to conflict. Instead of seeking victory over others, we should strive to conquer our own ego and personal challenges. By doing so, we can create a lasting inner peace that is not shaken by external conflicts. Additionally, embracing forgiveness and compassion allows us to break the cycle of hatred and create a more peaceful world. As we reflect on Buddha's teachings about war and conflict, let's consider how we can apply these insights in our own lives. Think about how you can practice forgiveness and let go of past grievances. both towards yourself and others. Let's extend our heartfelt wishes to those who are currently suffering from the effects of war and conflict. May they find comfort, healing, and peace amidst their trials. Remember, the journey towards a more peaceful world starts with each of us. By working on our own inner peace and choosing forgiveness over anger, we can contribute to a more harmonious and understanding world. Let's keep Buddha's teachings in mind and strive to create positive change in our lives and in the world around us.